For sure and totally.
Totally.
So this, I wanted to tell everybody, just because I'm so clever and you know, besides being handsome and all of those good things, I know, right?
When did that start?
Exactly that. I know, right? I decided that I'm going to start using the term bra a lot. I'm going to become a surfer.
Oh, I thought you meant you're going into
cheap driving surfer.
I thought you're going into lingerie.
Right? I should, you know.
I'm going to use the term panties. You go ahead and use the word bra.
Pantalones. No mas pantalones.
I'm going to take off my pants right now. I will. When did you do that?
You actually have pants on?
Not really. Why? No, not in Florida. I've had shorts on since I've been here.
I don't blame you.
You need to. Why don't you just say it in Spanish and then I'll translate in English? I think it'll be great. No más pantalón. I'm currently taking my pants off, and then you can continue.
Cerveza por favor.
Please throw a beer down my throat, like that.
See, yeah. And see, I always get baño, and what's the other one that's close to baño? That's supposed to be a bad word.
El baño is bathroom, and that's not a bad word, especially if you've had lots of cerveza.
Yeah, and especially if you have no más pantalones. We are butchering such a beautiful language.
I am not butchering it at all. I am the one who does the translating. You need to do the.
That's true. Oh, well, and I'm going to send and this is not for prime time, John. So don't tell anyone about it. But I'm going to send you a very off-color joke just because we're talking about it.
Oh, good. Well, this is great because you're going to send this to me, and I can't share it with our listening and viewing audience.
I know. But it's still funny as hell. So, you know, you'll laugh. And
we do funny
people
things.
Will laugh because you're laughing. Speaking of, I've had a very long week, and I came home, and you know what started to air on Thursday night. I think it was Thursday. Maybe it was Wednesday. You sent it to me, so you should know.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Season 2.
Maybe I was drinking.
Season 2.
Yes.
Of
Clarkson's Farm.
That's right. Yes.
And we haven't started watching it yet, so it might be tonight.
Oh, okay. You have to.
Okay, so I'm glad you started there because, first of all, I'm pissed at Yellowstone. And I think, here's how I think about it. Taylor is probably needing more time to write more stuff because he's writing like 50 shows.
Right. So, yep. And they just announced 1944, which is supposed to be another prequel.
Shut up. Really?
They just, I saw a news article this morning. Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be at some point he's going to be at 1986 and we're all going to go, he lived through that. You don't have to tell the story. But
yeah, it's already in Yellowstone.
The guy's so talented. And look, I don't want to diminish that, but watching all of the shows, the Tulsa King and the mayor of Kingstown.
Yeah, I haven't even started that one.
Oh my gosh. But
I gotta have something to watch at some time.
Every night we're watching the Taylor Sheridan show.
He's taking over the world.
Make him happy. He should be sponsoring Ding, PoddiMouths, and I'll talk to the Ding in just a few minutes. But I'm telling you, we're like caught up on everything. 1923. What's the 1880?
1883.
3.
Yeah.
And so we're caught up on that. And then Yellowstone, we bought the 5th season. Well, they're going to start again in the summer. We already paid for it. So, you know what? Is that 5.5 season? So I think
that is, if you look back, they had a certain number of episodes and they just took a hiatus.
I'm sure they did. And I would too, because you know what? They can.
Yeah, exactly.
And good for them. It's like teachers taking off the summer. Good for you because you can. Yeah. And you need it because of our crazy kids back when we were crazy. Today, it's a little weirder. But seriously, there are so many shows and we're like caught up on all of them. So I don't know. Clarkson's Farm we're excited about because it's been a long time.
Oh, it has.
Ozark was the same way. Well, it's coming out in the fall. The spring. Late summer. And
I'm hoping that all the schedules hopefully will start to, become more normalized as time goes on. But I hope. I didn't say I think. I just said I hope.
It's just weird how that all.
It is. But the first two episodes, at least in the second episode, Jen was looking at me the whole time because I was laughing my ass off. And I needed a good laugh because it was.
But you gotta get into it. And so I know we've talked about this and we always say that, but I have to listen to the British accent for a little bit before I can, comprehend that it's, the normal. It just takes me a little bit.
Yeah.
Half an hour maybe.
Yeah.
And it was the same with Monty Python. When you watch that, I've got to get it in my head before I can do the
so I would say you're just going to have to sit and binge them all at the same time, because the first one, while funny, was definitely not as funny as the second one. And the second one highlighted a certain person who you will have a very hard time understanding.
Well, I know who exactly. Yes.
Oh my goodness. It was so funny.
Jeremy is just the best at that stuff.
Yeah, he is. It's too bad the show is ending now. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Because of the controversy, he's been canceled.
Another controversy.
Yep. Grand Tour is canceled, and so is Clarkson Farm. Now, this is to Amazon's credit. They said it's not right away. It's after he fulfills the contract. So when they're done producing however many he's promised, they're done.
So he did something, and I kind of I caught on the edges of it, and he apologized for it.
Right.
I don't even know what it was. So look, whatever. If that's all that matters to them, he's fine. He's made all the money he needs to make.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. But he's proven them wrong so many times in the past that, not even what was the first one?
Grand Tour?
No, what was it?
Top Gear.
It Grand?
Top Gear.
And then so he got blown off that one. And then Grand Tour came out and blew away. And they go, oh, yeah, we'll do Top Gear US. Yep. Nothing.
Yeah.
It was terrible compared. And so you get those guys together. There's just that cohesiveness.
That chemistry.
Yeah.
It's all chemistry.
Is. And you can't, I mean, it's really tough to replicate that.
Yeah.
So I like him. He's a funny dude. He's got a huge ego, as he should, but his ego really took a bath, and I believed it when he started farming.
Yes. And that's so interesting you say that.
Really endearing.
I was watching a YouTube, and I'm going to find it for you. I'm going to send it to you. Everyone else, I'm sorry, you're going to have to look it up.
Nasty jokes that you're sending.
Right?
Is this,
but this is an hour and a half long, hour and 11-minute documentary that must have aired on some BBC channel. UK TV Tube is the channel that it's showing me here. But how do you want this? I will send it. I'm going to send it to your email. But this is it's called Jeremy Clarkson, King of Controversy. And it talks about his whole history in the media all the way up to today.
Including the last one? Okay.
And it was very, very, I found it very interesting because I didn't know some of the things that they were talking about. So it really gave me even more respect for Clarkson.
Well, that's good. And the guy, I mean, he's been down 50 times like we all have at some point or another. And I just give him credit. He's a funny dude. And again, I'm sure he is not the perfect guy. Right. And I know you'll find this hard to believe. We ain't either.
I am. I don't know about you. You can say that all you want, but I'm pretty damn perfect.
Anyway,
I have this podcast to back me up, right, folks? Right, fans of the podcast.
Going, yes, you're perfect.
Exactly.
Yes,
for those of you who are just listening, which honestly there are fewer and fewer. Really? John was just shaking his head no while he was saying yes. I don't understand why he was doing that.
I think you don't have to tell them that because people go, gee, I wonder what John's doing with his head. And they will automatically go to YouTube to find out.
Well, I'm sure. Yes. Or Spotify, because you can watch it on Spotify as well.
That's true, too, which is a new thing.
It is a new thing. So speaking of new things, we launched last week, which is actually, if I'm being perfectly honest, was today. Because it is Friday, and John and I are doing this episode for Tuesday. But we launched a new thing for those of you who missed it that will come out every single Friday, as long as we can remember to do it, called PoddiMouths.
If we remember to do it.
I'm just being honest, John.
I love that. Yes, what's it called?
It's called PoddiMouths Fast Friday.
Like that. Yep. We should have like a racetrack.
That's a great idea. I'll steal it from Top Gear.
Good. Then we'll be in jail. Great. Hey, let's do Fast Friday from jail. That'd be great. Yeah, I'll talk to that.
It's historical.
Would you like tea?
And speaking of that, the British voice, because whenever I think of what we're going to be talking about, I do think of that British accent. So we're going to have to really get good at our British, our Londony accent. The one that you Londony, the one that you hear a lot of historians, a lot of very well-respected historians have, because we're going to be talking about history. Every Friday, we're going to pick a topic that correlates with an historical event that happened on the same date as the Friday that.
And we're going to do it in a British accent.
And we're going to do it in a British accent. No, we're not going to do it.
We should.
I would not insult the Brits like that.
Wait, it's not like they're listening.
I'm sorry, we can't say that anymore.
Say what?
The Brits.
Why?
Did you hear about that? It's
gosh.
Now it's
there some really?
Yeah, we can't say the Brits or the French because that minimizes their something. I don't remember. It's part of the writing style. I don't remember who it was Webster or something like that. Yeah, they are.
So I think here's the best way we're going to handle some of the things we can't do anymore is to do them twice as much.
Obviously, that's the way we're going to do it, especially on our podcast.
Yes,
because we are broadcast professionals.
We'll just say the Brits and the French got together, they played football, and then they both left. Something football, they'll think it's soccer, but it's really football.
Yeah, footy ball.
We are, yes, which that's Australia. So that is going to be something that will probably get us in big trouble as we expand our UK audience.
Absolutely. Right. Especially on PoddiMouths Fast Friday. Because you know what? PoddiMouths is a big deal. It is a big deal in my head. Fast Friday is going to take off like gangbusters. We're going to have at least 60 followers.
Ooh.
I know.
Fast, or you think slowly?
They're going to be. It's going to come in very, very, very slowly.
Be slow people.
It has to be. Yeah.
We'll get a lot of Floridians, maybe snowbirds.
Maybe.
I remember.
Why is that? Because our podcast now is about 30 to 45, sometimes even an hour long. Fast Friday is going to be 5 minutes
ish.
Even though the first one, ish. Let's put it. That's 5 minutes ish. The first episode is a little over 8 minutes.
Well, you know why? It's because the whole time I'm going like this, and you won't be able to see it if you're listening.
Right.
So,
well, you could hear it because you just banged your
I did. I hit my mic because it was important to keep it.
You were cutting off the mic.
5 minutes. You're welcome.
5 minutes.
So we'll try to be quick. But Fast Friday is going to be fun because, note the alliteration, because we'll be talking about things that actually happened.
Right.
On
Instead
those days.
Of absolutely nothing like we normally talk about.
Well, nothing happened on February 10th. I don't know if you knew that.
Well,
you knew.
Weird Al Yankovic got married.
Yeah, you thought he was dead.
I did. No. He was the reason Fillmore. I figured out I was wrong.
And who was the other guy? Millard Fillmore and
Queen Elizabeth or Queen Victoria,
Alexander Hamilton or somebody like that.
Yeah. It was.
As it turns out, they were all at the same wedding.
I clicked
Al Yankovic's wedding.
Yeah, exactly. I clicked a button, folks, that was supposed to be a list of people that died on that date. So I started reading down all these people that, quote unquote, died. And it turns out I hit the wrong tab and it was weddings. So I was reading all these people that I thought had died, which most of them are dead. Until
Cary
I got
Grant
down.
Died on this day in 1934. In 1934,
it would have been hard for him to make the movies
in the 40s and 50s.
Right, exactly. Which you should have stopped me then. I wasn't even paying attention.
When he was. I mean, he was dead. He looked terrific.
Well, that's where the whole storyline came for Weekend at Bernie's. It was just someone, throwing him around, making him do funny things.
It was awesome. All those people died, and no, they all got married that day.
They all got married. Yep.
Oh,
yep.
All right. That was even better.
Yeah, it was funny. At least it was funny. And if you get a laugh out of Fast Fridays, that's all that really matters. You learn something and you get a laugh out of it.
Yeah, we're not even that concerned about the learning. We don't
give a really crap. No.
If you learn something, hey, where'd you learn that? I don't know, but I laughed my butt off at Fast Fridays.
Yeah.
That's what counts.
Yep. And those of you who walk on Fridays as well, Bill, it's going to be a very short walk.
He's the only one that walks on Fridays.
Yeah. Well, walks and listens to the podcast.
That's true. He's going to be disappointed. It's a 3-minute walk.
Exactly. No, 8 minutes. Definitely 8 minutes. It's a 5 to 10 minute podcast about history, folks. PoddiMouths Fast Friday. Stay tuned.
That's the intent.
More. That is the intent.
Not so much today.
No, because nothing happened today. Or, I'm sorry, last Friday.
Told you.
Yeah. So, I'm excited about that, though. It'll be a lot of fun. Maybe this will lead to other things. If we can get a big following on both podcasts, we could quit our day jobs and just do podcasts. Highly unlikely, but it could happen.
I imagine that we would do that, but
I could.
Maybe I could imagine
so if we get where we dream it.
If we get to the point where we have too much money coming in, and we just say, "That's too much money.
That's way too many coffees."
One of these jobs.
Yep.
You would keep the PoddiMouths job. See, now that warms the cockles of my heart.
It has nothing to do with you, John.
Well, I don't care, but it's still, you chose me over your stupid job.
That's true. That is true. Wouldn't someone choose you over their job any day?
I don't know. Who are these people we're talking about?
I have no idea. It's those people. It's them.
Yes. Yeah. It is those people.
Those people.
You are
me.
You should show. Remember, you showed me the room. Show your.
I don't want to show the. No. I was happy to show you because
I'm going to tell them what I saw. If you don't,
you can, but I can't show you what I'm looking at because
why not?
Because it's the thing on my TV.
Well, great. You're watching porn while we're doing.
I wish.
Oh, okay.
No, I have.
I wish. No, you don't.
No, I really don't. I'm working. I still have some stuff that I was working before the end of the day.
Do you have it connected?
It's a third monitor.
Computer. See, that's awesome. And is that a 42 or 50?
Oh, it's not that big. It's I think it's 30 something.
Oh, no, it's bigger. It's at least a 42.
It might be a 42, but it's not that big. It looks bigger than it is. It's not very big.
Story of my life.
I know. I was, at least you went there because I really wanted to.
I know you did. So I have 3 TVs. We've talked about this sitting in this living room in the rental. And one is a 70-inch TV.
I remember when you bought that. Yeah.
Yes. And it's sitting, waiting to be installed in the new house.
Which will happen the day after this airs, right? Hopefully.
We'll be in there. I'm hoping we can even, who knows when we can do it. But yes, next week we are come hell or high water.
Or this week for those of you who are listening.
Yes, this week. That's true. Unless there's some stupid issue with a certificate of occupancy, we will be in the new house. And kind
of looking you're saying another 2 weeks from now you'll be in the house?
No, I'm not saying that, but they would like me to probably say that.
Probably because it is a government agency,
but
we don't get political here. But I don't have very high expectations.
But I will say this, and they're actually. One is government, the other is a private company. I will say that the power and the water, they rocked it, both of them.
That's good.
It was a little quirky, excuse me, because we built the house near a power line. This is kind of a Florida thing when you buy an empty lot, because you can just run it right to the garage side, and it's an easy, run to the house. Mm-hmm. Well, we could do that if we didn't mind waiting 5 weeks for them to run the power 50 yards from the line to the garage. And 5 weeks would have put us into next month. I said, okay, what is the other choice? Bury it. When can they do that? Next week. How much does that cost? $1,300. Really? I don't. Fine. So we had them bury it, and then suddenly that date was getting pushed back. Anyway, long story short, they did it like almost instantly. So the power's in, the water is in, I'm delighted because that we weren't expecting. So anyway,
that's awesome.
Good stuff. Yep, we're happy.
Well, I mean,
about that.
it's getting done. I know you and I had talked about the buried versus the poles, but I actually would prefer buried. I don't care what it is.
I would too, all
overall,
things being equal, but
right.
The price is more because all the poles. I mean, it's buried from a pole that's above ground, so it's not like a big storm comes in. Yeah, it's still going to knock that out. Yeah. And if that's knocked out, then where are you? Well, I'm plugging in my generator.
Very true. Well, and so speaking of building, we were at a friend's last weekend, and they were talking about this new community that's going in about 45 minutes away from Nashville, which is that area. We were in Dixon, which is where we used to live.
Yeah. That's west of town, right?
That's west of town. Yep. And this is going to be a little bit more southwest of town so that Dixon, the city of Dixon is the county seat, if you can't tell already, for the county of Dixon. This is in Hickman County, which is right next door. It is, forgive me, I don't remember the name. I could look it up, but it is, a golf and surf community.
Really?
Yeah. So it's an exclusive, private, very expensive golf and surfing community. They're building it around a wave pool for people to go and surf.
So it's a wave pool, and is that one of the golf course? What do they call them? Hazards?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be awesome? No, I think the wave.
Surf.
If golf balls that would be hilarious. If I remember it right, the surf part is right in the middle of the community, while the golf course flanks the community. But I do think that would be a great idea. I think that's phenomenal.
So is this the water hole? Yeah, it actually is, and you're going to need to play the dog leg left because otherwise you're going to hit Biff in the noggin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I'm fascinated by why would anyone want a surf club in Nashville or outside of Nashville? Of course, they're going to say it's Nashville, even though it's 2 counties away.
That's true. But I would say that it's the question is, why would somebody who plays golf want a surf club?
Right.
So they're not really simpatico, it seems to me. I could be wrong, but right. I mean, I would pick golf and shuffleboard.
Right. They're also
community.
doing, it's also an equestrian community. So they're going to have horses out there too.
Wow.
I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar project. No one in the county wants it. It's purely just it's not even someone from Tennessee, obviously, who's coming in with a lot of money and they want to build this community, and they picked Hickman County.
So are they from California because of the surf thing?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I would guess.
Fair question.
And it's not the only community. There are a number of different communities going in. That one just happens to be the biggest. There was a guy
people from Wyoming. They don't say we should build a surf community. Nobody.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's build a surf community in Tennessee. That's not why you come to Tennessee. If you want to go surfing, go to the coast.
Well, or people say, you know what they're lacking in Tennessee? We could become billionaires if we build a surf. Yeah. Yeah. No.
There's a guy that came down from Chicago and built a resort down here. So copying another resort that just went in. And it's like, that's one of those places where it's the minimum price is $950 a night to stay there. It's a premium luxury resorts where all the stars go, blah, blah, blah.
And is it sold out all the time?
No, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a buddy that works there, and he just spends most of his time just sitting and waiting because no one is going.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just insane.
So at some point they're going to cut the prices, right?
Oh, I would hope so. Yeah. I would hope so, but you never know.
It's not like Nashville doesn't have the wherewithal to support an expensive, because they do. I mean, look at the Opryland hotel. Yeah. I mean, that's
Opryland is much cheaper. Gaylord is much cheaper than this place.
It is, but it's, I mean, call it what you will, but it's a third to a half the price, I would guess. But it's still expensive.
Yes. I mean, it can be. It depends, but it is Marriott property.
I think the average room price is between $250 and $400 a night there, don't you think? At Gaylord?
No, it's cheaper than that.
Come on.
Depending on the time.
Maybe for locals.
Let's put that caveat on there.
That's right. Christmas time, for sure, it gets more expensive.
It's much more expensive.
And it's worth it because I love it there. But it's a cool place. If you have not done the Gaylord Opryland Hotel around Christmas time and you have any interest, and really they have lots of kids activities too.
They do. Well, they also have, they don't have a wave pool, but they also have a water park built in.
Indoor water park. Yep. Yeah.
And it's pretty impressive.
Oh, it's
the best part.
Impressive.
You want to know the best part of that whole complex?
The restaurants.
Well, close. The bar.
I like the restaurants. The what?
No, I'm talking about it in the wave pool itself. Or not the wave pool, in the water park. It's the bar.
In the water park?
Yeah, there's a bar in the water park. That's where I always sit. So I'm not getting in that water.
When you bring your family. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, kids. See ya.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because you can actually see the whole pool from there. It's the best vantage point, so you can actually watch.
Because somebody's sitting at the bar
up there. Yep.
Because somebody's sitting at the bar or in the hot tub. They're mostly concerned with, want to keep an eye on my kids.
Yep. Exactly. Yes. And I'm nodding. Big nods. Big nods.
I know you are. That's awesome. It's a really cool place, but I have not.
It is.
I think we went down the stairs and checked it out, but we were there just a couple, so we're not, let's go to the water park with all the
right. Well, you have to pay to actually get into it. So
that's true. But we actually did go downstairs, and there's that whole, the
observation area
upstairs and then down, and there's the observation area.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful facility.
It is a beautiful facility, and
you will walk
we enjoy
some
staying there for fun. You do. You can. We used to. So the school I taught at, when I taught photography, is right down the road. So when we had bad weather and we had to go out and shoot, because we had a class that I taught called nature photography, and excuse me, if it was too wet or stormy or something like that, we just go over to Opryland and they would do their nature photography in the atriums there.
And you can.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We had we were there with really good friends. A friend of ours whose son was graduating high school, and we took his high school pictures while he was there. And it was while we're in the atrium, and in front of so he plays guitar, so in front of the huge guitars that are up on the upper level, and it was just really cool. It was a fun experience.
Yeah.
Podius Interruptus.
So, folks, there was a Podius Interruptus. I'm sure you noticed
just
that.
Waiting for that.
I was. We need to re-record that because your old Podius Interruptus is great, but it's old technology. So it doesn't quite, I have to work a lot to get that Podius Interruptus in there. Yeah, I do. But anyway, it was a few minutes that we had to take a quick break, a little split in between.
Was it like, can we tell people, was it a bodily thing? Was it like kids?
No, it was not a bodily thing. It wasn't my bodily anyway.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, because a lot of people tell me that Nick, especially people on YouTube, they say, he's so handsome, he's a 10. And I said, no, you're an 8. And that means you probably had to pee because you're an 8.
Well, yeah, no.
Thank you.
That was good.
All right.
That was very good. It was definitely a dad joke right there.
Yes, it was.
So there's actually, this is completely off the topic where I was going, but there's actually she's on TikTok. She's also on Instagram. I don't remember her name, and I'm not going to look her up because that would take forever because I don't even think I know the beginning, but she basically does, I don't know. She basically does dad jokes though.
Oh,
but it's herself. So she's talking like there's twins, but she's talking back and forth to herself. So it's like an alter ego.
Oh, cool.
But she does some of those, where obvious things that just kind of blow your mind when you put them in a different perspective type of thing. But then sometimes she does dad jokes.
Well, and we've got, one I follow on Instagram is dad jokes, and they're hilarious. I have no idea who writes them, but it's hilarious because we're stupid dads, and that's what we do.
Exactly. And so one of the jokes that was recent was Knights of the Round Table. It wasn't who is Sir Lancelot Who? No, King Arthur. King Arthur
Yeah.
was not the person who invented the Knights of the Round Table, or the Round Table within the Knights of the Round Table. And then, of course, she, being the opposite person, said, well, okay, then who was it? It was Sir Cumference.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't tell it nearly as well as.
No, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Actually, I have tears a little bit.
I can see that.
I didn't want
that's pain. That's the tears coming from
tears of pain.
Tears of pain, not tears of joy, tears of pain.
Okay, so you had Clyde at your feet just before we started, and I love Clyde, and we miss our puppies, so that's a difficult thing. But once you had, how many dogs have you had in your lifetime?
It's going to take a while to count. A lot.
Well, no,
let's
you
just
don't
say
have
a
to
lot.
count, but roughly.
Roughly, I don't know.
R-U-F-F. Roughly.
Probably 20, I would say, maybe.
Oh, gosh, really?
Yeah. If you're now, counting between, because remember, I'm two families. So I've got my dad and my mom.
Well, yeah.
We always had one at home, but I always spent a lot of time with my dad, and he always had farm dogs. So he at any given time has dogs. 3 or 4, right?
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense then. But because I think, family dogs, and of course that's always a security question. So I will never tell you what my first dog was. Because I know then you'll try to break into my bank account and he robbed me blind. I thought we were friends on PoddiMouths. I made the mistake of telling him my first dog was Dorky.
Oh,
damn it!
See, I never use my first dog as a password because I use it as my stage name. Or your what is it? Your stripper name or something like
your stripper name.
Tricky Woods is Trixie Woods is my stripper name.
Mine is Spooky Railroad.
Spooky.
Which is,
I like yours a lot better. I really do. I'm not gonna lie about that one. I make a whole
lot of money with that until they saw me, and then they go, "Oh, holy crap!"
Just take away the railroad at that point.
It's your dog's first name growing up, and first name because like she had a middle name,
right. And the street you grew up on.
The street you grew up on, and oh my gosh, I've heard some really, really funny ones, but Spooky Railroad is pretty good.
That one's probably my favorite. It's the best I've ever heard. It really is. Speaking of dogs, Peyton has, I wouldn't call it an obsession. It's not quite like video games, but she loves wolves. She loves dogs and she loves wolves.
Oh.
So I sent her an Instagram the other day, and it was a picture of a wolf snarling with red eyes, and it was on Groundhog's Day. And it said, stupid groundhog says there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. So I ate him.
Nice. And what did she do?
It didn't actually go through. I think it was a private account that I follow. And because she's not on Instagram, she couldn't see it.
So I ate him. Yeah. You know what? It's fine when you're a teenage girl ish. Not that I've ever been one.
Pre-teenage-ish.
When you are a preteen, right? When you are that age, you kind of go, oh, wolves, they're so cool and they're awesome. Until you see them in real life or in the wild and you say, oh, yeah, I was camping and suddenly I don't like them as much because
she's never seen them in the wild, but she has seen there. So where my in-laws live, there's a park called Bays Mountain. And up in Bays Mountain, they have it's not really a zoo, but it's like a recovery center. But they have a whole bunch. They have a pack of wolves.
You mentioned that. Yeah, how cool.
It is very cool. They're not very big though. And so that I think is, a little bit weird. Not weird. What am I looking for? They're wolves. You can tell they're wolves, but they're almost the same size as a regular dog.
It's incongruent with real life. And when you think, wolves, they're so cute. No, they will rip your head off and poop down your neck.
Exactly.
And say, oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That's what, I mean, and that's fine. But I mean, I love those, rescue places like that because there are, some, I want to say in Arizona, they have tigers and lions that they have.
And bears, probably not,
but adopted and cared for because they were injured or something. Mm-hmm. And they have these wonderful places, retirement places, sort of. I think they're on Medicare, where they let these guys roam, and it's a pretty cool thing, but it's not real life. It's not how they are in the wild.
Right.
So anyway, but you see enough of that in the camping videos, and you go, Steve Wallace. Have we talked about Steve?
I don't think
Camping with Steve. You need to Wallis. He's a Canadian guy. Long story. I won't go into it, but he does like stealth camping.
Okay.
And it's so much fun because he's just a Canuck, that you kind of go, he'd be fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
Wallis. Yeah, Steve Wallace. And I'm sure he's over 1 million followers by now.
I'm sure.
But
Is
just
kind of like ours,
the nicest guy. Yeah, we have 4, I think. But anyway, just the coolest
more than
guy.
4. Thank you very much.
14.
I am now subscribed.
Oh, good. And you're like
welcome, Steve. 1.21 million subscribers.
Sadly, and he's a young guy, probably 40. His wife sadly passed away unexpectedly.
Oh, no.
About his age last year. And
that's sad.
It just, but he lives it out sort of on YouTube, and right or wrong or good or bad, it's everybody loves him, and they go, dude, we are so, and they supported him. And I think that was a really a good thing for him. But anyway, he does, oh my gosh, he does these funny camping things. In a roundabout, he camped in the middle of a roundabout. And so he's got a tent and he's making dinner. It's the funniest stuff ever. And he's just this unassuming dude. He's not trying to get away with anything other than stealth camping. And nobody expects it. And oh my gosh, he's a funny dude. So
I'm looking forward to watching him.
Camping with Steve. You will like it.
Camping with Steve.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good podcast name too.
A cool dude.
You got to say like Camping with Steve.
Camping with Steve.
It sounds like an old 1980s art.
Well, you have to say it like that. You have Camping with Steve, and then it's more.
Yeah, there you go.
That's exactly 50s, I guess. That's like Perry Mason,
right? 50s. I can see that.
Camping
he probably died on February 10th too.
Wow. Or got married, because honestly, it's the same thing.
So there was a meme I saw, and it was a husband and wife sitting at the table, and it was 4 different screens with the message bubble above, and it was the first one was the wife saying, "Now that we're married, will you stop drinking?" And then the husband, it shows, "Wow, you sound a lot like my ex-wife." And then the next square it says, "I didn't know you were married before." And then the final screen said, "I wasn't."
Nice.
Yeah.
So that, of course, reminds me of another one. And it was Foster Brooks, who used to play, before your time, but used to play a drunk in all the Dean Martin roasts.
I know who that is.
Back in the day. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And the guy was and I had his album, and it was a 33 and the third record, again, before your time. That was amazing. It was probably the first comedy album I ever had. And he just was pretending to be a drunk. And he said that, my first wife died a tragic death. She ate poison mushrooms. My second wife, also a tragic death. She had a fractured skull. She wouldn't eat her mushrooms. Wow.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. That was horrible and hilarious at the same time.
Exactly.
He said it in the drunk voice, which I can't currently do.
Not to bring it back to our earlier conversation, but I'm going to, because that's what I do. When you watch Clarkson's Farm, I think there was a part not about mushrooms or poison or getting beaten over the head, but there was a part where people were eating things. And I'm not going to tell you what or why, but that was where I was probably laughing the hardest. And that's why Jen was looking at me going, "What the hell are you doing? Why is it?" Because I was watching people.
Was she not watching?
Oh yeah, she was watching. But I was watching people. I guess I laugh at when people are in constant pain because it was funny, and I could not stop laughing. Just their reaction. It was their facial.
That was the second episode?
That was the second episode, yeah.
Okay. So we have to
I'm
suffer
looking
through the
forward
first
to
one.
watching. I was hoping that because you sent it to me, so I was hoping that you had seen at least the first couple, so we could talk. We'll have to talk about it on our next episode.
We will, because we'll definitely get caught up. I told Lisa about it, and she's like, she said, "Oh,
all excited.
There are more than just one available." I'm going, "Oh yeah." So
yeah, all of them are.
She's psyched. Yeah, she's psyched. All of them?
All of them.
The whole season?
Yeah. The whole season.
Which is how many?
8 or 9.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to look. I just.
If you're going to ask me, I'm going to know the answer because you know how much.
But
I
sometimes
hate
it takes you a while to get there.
Oh, it does, and that's why I have you to fill
the next week. Yeah, because I don't. I'm not a big talker. I'm kind of a quiet, silent.
You really aren't a big talker. I don't know
silent type. He's large.
There are 8 episodes.
8. Okay.
Yep.
The Ocho. All right, we have to. We're going to have to get started on those. I can tell because we're in like an oasis right now of nothing that we're following going on. So,
an oasis of nothing.
I think
I've been having that problem lately too.
So Lisa is not a TV at bedtime person, and I am. And so when we stay at hotels, look, I will set the timer for 10 minutes or something, fall asleep, the TV shuts off. It's all good. At home, I will often sleep. So we're not always in this. This is going to be weird for you because we've only been married 35 years. Right. We are not always in the same bed. And so I like to watch the TV. And lately, what's putting me to sleep are these old 1950s Perry Mason shows.
See, I thought you were going to say the PoddiMouths podcast. You play that on YouTube? On your TV?
You know what? They don't put me to sleep because I've trained myself. Because if they did, I'm not sure I could make it through us recording them.
I understand.
Yeah. Right. So I trained myself not to fall asleep during PoddiMouths.
So before you finish your story, though,
yes.
I do have to I have to say something that I was this many years old. I was today's years old when obviously it was not quite today's years old.
Correct.
But I never could figure out those people that build houses that had 2 master bedrooms. Why would you need 2 master bedrooms? And then I got married.
Well, and that was I'm trying to, and I've quoted this before, but an actor, a famous actor, not heaven's sakes, I wish I could think of his name, doesn't matter. But he was asked, "You've been married for 40 years in Hollywood, an actor for all these years." And I can picture the guy. What is your secret? He said, 2 bathrooms.
That's exactly it. Yes.
It's true.
Well, 100%. Honestly, I don't think Jen and I disagree about much, but the bathroom and the closets too. That's an area of contention for I'm sure millions of people.
I think it's how you work it out. I mean, so in the new house, which we're with any luck going to be in next week, she in the main bedroom. I'm still calling it the master. I'm sorry because I'm not. This is not a slavery thing. I'm sorry. It's the master bedroom. So whatever. And I jokingly tell Lisa it's the mistress bedroom because she's the one who's mostly in there. But she gets the closet. She gets the whole walk-in closet, as she always has in every house we've been in. And that's fine. Our master bath has 2 sinks. They're both for her. And but if we have company over, we only have 2 actual bedrooms, and the third is my office. Mm-hmm. So, if we have somebody over, the beauty of this house is one side is the master and the other side is the guest suite or guest wing. And so they have their own bathroom, close the slider, and they're all good to go. So I'm going to have to sleep in her room, which is not going to be pretty, but at least there are 2 sinks.
Exactly. Yep.
Anyway, but it's a funny they will. Again, when you're married for a long time, you figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's a wonderful solution. And
it is.
We
and
love having
close
friends come over.
We do like being in the same room. At least I like it.
Yeah.
But, there are times like when one of us is sick, the other one will sleep in one of the other rooms. Then it becomes a fight who's going to sleep over there, because to be perfectly honest, our bed is nice and big, but the guest room bed is much more comfortable.
Oh,
so she usually wins and gets to sleep in the guest room.
She gets to.
She gets to, yeah, because I'm stuck in our room. But the other benefit is I actually don't mind the dogs in the bed because they don't huddle up next to me. But if she's in the bed, the dogs are on her the entire night, and they usually push her out of bed.
Oh,
so she hates having the dogs in the bed.
Yeah.
So when she's not in the bed, the dogs are in the bed with me.
Yeah. I actually, years ago when we had a bigger dog, I totally said, no, he cannot be in because he would take up to, and then the legs, he's 80 pounds and the legs 70, the legs stick out. And yeah, it's suddenly in my crotch or something. And
it's a fun way to wake up.
Well, no, it's not. It's fun for him, I'm sure, but not so much for me. Anyway, but yeah, I'm with you. And then Indy, I made her keep him out of the bed.
Yeah.
She often did, but not always. So,
well, my little punk, my Clyde, where I don't know where he went.
Clyde,
he must be down.
He's in there somewhere.
No, he's over there. He still smells like skunk, so he's not allowed in the bed right now.
I can't believe. No, I can believe it because I know how that stuff hangs on.
Yeah, Bonnie doesn't smell like skunk anymore.
Well, but she didn't get it like he did.
No, they were right next to each other. She got it. Yeah,
so
but
why?
She has a different. She doesn't even really shed. He's got a thicker coat, and
so
deeper.
I thought they're not.
They are. They're litter
brother
mates.
And sister.
Yeah, they're litter mates.
Okay,
but it's very odd. It's very odd. Everyone says that too, but yeah, they are. They're the same from the same parents. So anyway, my friend, awesome. I know it doesn't look like it because there's only 20 minutes on this clock, but
we've been going on.
We have been going way too long. Probably
people are going to be. Bill is still walking in circles.
He's got 20,000 steps on his pedometer. So
yes, I'm sure.
I'm sure it was a good workout. The weather is beautiful up there.
I hope so, Bill.
This time of year, I'm sure
it's very nice up there.
Yeah.
I honestly, I hope he wore boots.
Me too. Yeah. He's got some great posts lately, but we'll talk about that next time on your everyday local, whatever PoddiMouths. I don't know. It's not as cool signing off on our regular podcast as it is on our new podcast. Fast Fridays.
Check out Fast Fridays, everybody.
It's going to be a very fast Friday because it's already late into the evening and I haven't posted it yet. So I'm going to have to go do that.
Speedy Friday.
Fast Friday. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. We'll be back here next week. Check out all of the PoddiMouths episodes, past PoddiMouths episodes on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts, all of those different places that you can listen to your podcast or watch it on Spotify or YouTube. But you can find all of that information on PoddiMouths.com. Hope you have a great week. We'll see you again soon.
See ya.